It's just sometimes really good tasting cardboard is what you're getting. It may taste good, but it doesn't do anything for you.
They knew when they were selling these pesticides that they were bad and harmful and dangerous and deadly. That's why, like, oil paints,
No, not the water, not the water. There's no place for a black man.
From the famous Acme Theater in Hollywood, it's the Gregory Mantell Show.
Today, Monika Klein says what you can't see might kill you. She'll tell you how environmental toxins might be affecting your food and your space and what to do about them. And later, Peter Bedard will tell you how to cleanse harmful toxins from your body. Plus, actor Sam Jones III from ER and Smallville. His new film is Cruise. But up first, Monika Klein. Great to have you here today, Monika.
Thank you so much, Greg. It's great to be here.
So I was surprised reading in your stuff, bright colors can be bad for you. What's bad about bright colors?
Well, bright colors usually, if they're too bright, they look unnatural. They're usually unnatural. They're usually artificial. And we've heard for years and years, some of the artificial, all the artificial sweeteners and food additives are very, very harmful.
So is this specifically then for food that we're talking, or like clothing dye and everything, or is this just mostly in the context of food?
Well, the skin is the largest organ, so if it's bad to ingest it, it's probably bad to wear it too. So that's really important for us to know that toxic is toxic.
Because I was just wondering about our blue background, but hopefully just looking at it is okay. So.
Well, we're not wearing it, so we're safe there. We're just looking
brown,
at it.
That's okay. That's not too bright.
Yeah.
So.
When we're talking about real bright colors, that again, I mean, I sometimes go shopping and I'll go into the grocery store and I'll see, I'll go into the fish section or look at some beef, or even if it's organic. Well, if it's organic, it's usually fine. But some of those colors are just like, I don't remember seeing, or I didn't think salmon was that color.
They still put a lot of dyes and additives.
They're getting better, but it still happens. So the best rule of thumb is to go organic, or choose very carefully and stay away from bags, boxes, and packaged foods as much as possible.
The trainers that we have on, we do a lot of health and fitness segments, will say, unprocessed food, stay away from processed food, the heavily processed kind of stuff. And
yeah, if it's bagged, boxed, or boxed, it's usually highly processed, and it's just sometimes really good tasting cardboard is what you're getting, so you're not really being able to fuel your body at all.
It doesn't sound as appetizing when you describe it that way.
No. It may taste good, but it doesn't do anything for you. So not only does it not give you the essential nutrients that you need to really function well, but it's also creating toxicity in your body, which is very, very unhealthy. And some of the toxins in the environment can lead to various cancers and various other kinds of diseases that we don't even know about in many cases.
Right, because I wonder, you hear people say this about toxins and it's bad for you, but what specifically? And I should say your background is in clinical nutrition, is what you've studied, and you have your company that focuses on this. But so cancer is one of the things that those.
Yeah, I mean, cancer, Parkinson's disease, all sorts of nervous conditions can be created by the toxicity. We're talking about pesticides, we're talking about insecticides, we're talking about the plastics not being able to be broken down in the environment sufficiently, and the toxicity created from them. I'm not an expert in environmental toxins, although, just basically out of my interest in health and general health, I've certainly paid attention to it and can see health conditions in my office on a daily basis possibly being caused by those things.
Such as maybe people getting sick?
People getting sick, and it can be just as subtle as allergies and causing, sinus headaches, chronic sinus, any kind of chronic conditions can be caused.
And what are some of the things that cause that then, that in the food or the environment?
Well, again, the additives.
So just all of the.
Absolutely, the additives. Even a pure food like dairy has been adulterated quite a bit, and a lot of people have allergies to any dairy, cow's dairy at this time. Also, blood sugar is affected. The rampant case of diabetes now that we see not only in our adults but also in children. So when we look at that, we look at, what are the sweeteners being used.
Right. In fact, so for sugar and the sugar substitutes, I know you say that, of course, Well, what about processed versus unprocessed sugar and some of the substitutes?
Well, of course, you want to go with unprocessed more than anything, and there are some sweeteners that actually have some health benefits, like xylitol. In fact, it's good for dental health. Splenda, I think the jury's still out on Splenda and its effects, and it's everywhere. Splenda's in everything. Aspartame, really a bad sweetener.
What's bad
It's
about
actually considered a neurotoxin, so it affects your brain negatively. And if someone comes into my office and they have a family history of Alzheimer's or any kind of neurological disorder, I'm really emphatic about getting them off the aspartame. But that's for everybody.
But
it's
aren't
not
there
good.
any government regulations on that, or why are these
I don't think there are.
still...
I don't think there are at this point. Not yet. Not yet.
And so, I mean, is it because of the food lobby or something, or how do these things stay legal if there's really evidence that shows that they're, a neurotoxin or something like that? I mean, how can you put it in food and sell it to people?
I think there's a lot of red tape and a lot of legislation that takes forever to come into play, and I think oftentimes there has to be a public outcry in order for change to happen, and again, it does take a long time. So I don't think these changes are going to happen overnight at all. It's going to take a while, and certainly consciousness and programs like this will help the consumer and the public know.
So what's the best source of sugar then?
Well, the best source of sugar is probably no sugar at all. The best
I love
source of
sugar. I gotta have sugar. Where do I get it?
Yeah, well, the best source of sugar, because there again, you're affecting your blood sugar levels and you're affecting, the body doesn't need sugar. The body can get sugar from fruit. Fruit sugar, it's not as concentrated, and I think a lot of us have this taste of something that's really, really sweet or really salty, and we're so used to that because because of the additives, the way foods are put together and processed. But in its natural state, sweet is not that sweet. A sweet food is not that sweet, like an apple, for example. So I think a lot of that's habit.
Well, I agree. I probably am addicted to sugar, I think.
Yeah.
But so you're not crazy about people eating a lot of fruit, or not? I mean, I like fruit. I just wondered if like watermelon and oranges, bananas. Does it matter, or?
Fruit is in its natural state. Of course, if it's if it's got a lot of pesticides on it, which is actually strawberries are the fruit that is most likely has the most pesticide on it, on it. So you might want to watch. You might want to watch when you purchase your strawberries to make sure they're organic.
And so again, I keep coming back to the regulations and things, but so obviously there are still problems with pesticides in the food, and I mean, is it getting any better on that front, or is it?
Yeah, I think it's getting better, but we still got a long way to go. And what I like to recommend for most of my clients is, it's not going to change overnight, as I said. It's going to take some time. So the best thing is to take care of yourself. Make sure your immune system is strong and your detoxification ability is strong, so you can detoxify some of these toxins that you're ingesting unknowingly. So that's really important. That's a really important part of general health, and to keep you strong and prevent some of this toxicity in your system.
Well, when you said that if it's bagged or boxed or whatever the other one was, that it's not good for you, I just wondered. So what can you eat then if you're not quite crazy about fruit because of pesticides and that sort of thing? Then, so what does that leave you?
Well, I think in answer to your question of eating fruits, absolutely you want to be eating fruits. The closer a food is to Mother Nature in its most natural state, the better it is for you. So we're talking about fresh fruits and vegetables. We're talking about organic animal products. As much as possible, try and go with organic. Organic and fresh is the best way to go. So the closer it is to Mother Nature.
Now, you mentioned the immune system and strengthening that, of course, is one way. What are some things you can do? How do you strengthen the immune system?
Well, it's interesting because a lot of that's lifestyle as well. Certainly eating properly and getting enough rest is really a big part of having your body work properly.
That's the one part. People always say that about sleep, and I think I need to hammer that message in. But
I think there's this philosophy: if we work really hard and we're really productive, that's more important than getting proper sleep. And yet, I see this every day in my office: is people are night and day if they don't get enough sleep, and if they're just burnt out.
Well, thank you very much, Monika
You're
Klein.
welcome. You're welcome.
And your company is?
Coaching for Health. Coaching for Health.
All right. We'll be right back. And we are back. Joining me now is alternative health expert Peter Bedard. Great to have you here today, Peter.
Thanks, Greg. It's nice to be here.
So you're going to tell us how to clean toxins from our bodies?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, as somebody who's come close to dying a few times, getting those toxins out of the body is so important. Because if you don't get them out, it's like our body become incubators for illnesses, for disease or whatever it is to spread. And Monika made a very interesting point just a few minutes ago, where she said that our environment is full of toxins, and it's really important to recognize that. And in the research I did and have been doing, it's sort of my life purpose is to help people heal. To show them how to detoxify and how to get that kind of stuff, it's important for people to recognize where they're coming from, and that we're surrounded by these toxins. So like I was saying earlier.
I'm kind of worried as I sit here.
Yeah, well, absolutely. It is kind of a scary thing if you really think of it, how many pesticides and dyes and stuff like that are in our environment, from the clothes we wrap ourselves in our infants in, to the air we breathe. And so one of the main components of detoxifying that I kept coming across in my research for how to actually detoxify ourselves is to really pay attention to the environment. And not only paying attention to the environment that you're living in, but recognize if something is toxic.
So what kind of things are we paying attention to?
Floor, carpets, paints, all of that kind of stuff.
Or do we have a problem with our floor here?
Well, this is actually probably an older paint, so it's probably already...
Killing us as we sit here.
Well, when it was first painted, a lot of those toxins in there, a lot of that stuff you don't want to breathe. That's why, like oil paints, oil paints. You don't want oil paints in your home anymore. And if you notice, they're actually going to paints that actually don't have a lot of these toxins. You can find these brands now at mainstream stores quite often. They think that SIDS and autism and stuff like that is actually coming from being surrounded by toxins. I had a friend in the pesticide industry who literally she's retired and out of the industry now, but they knew when they were selling these pesticides that they were bad and harmful and dangerous and deadly. They knew it, but yet they sold them anyways, and they figured, the government's going to regulate them when the government regulates them. So,
and has the government started regulating them?
It's starting to, and it is getting better, but there's a lot of work to be. A lot of people are making a lot of money off toxins.
So what's that brush for?
So, I brought a couple things that I found that I thought were really fun. This is the body brush. And one of the ways, we know that our skin is the biggest organ that we have in our body. Right. And our skin helps us actually remove a lot of toxins. You can see it, not that this is a toxin, but when we eat garlic, you can smell that on your skin. Curries, garlic, stuff like that. So you have an example of how toxins actually come into the body, and are not necessarily toxins again, but food, stuff that we put in the body.
On the body?
On the breath and the body. You've never smelled it on people's skin? Like curries?
Are you rubbing the garlic on your body?
No, you're eating it. But so the idea is that the skin is one of the best ways. Yeah, one of the best ways to actually eliminate toxins. And you could just simply brush yourself. And this is just a brush. You would just, what I was trained with this is that you would just take the brush and you would brush your skin every day. And it would help the skin actually rejuvenate faster. It actually feels kind of good if you want to give it a shot.
And do you do this every day?
You can, yeah, absolutely. You can do it a couple times a day. There's nothing harmful in it. It's
I said do you. You said you can't.
I do. I don't right now. I used to. I will say. But I also went and...
you don't scrape your skin off though completely, do you?
No. Does that feel like it's going to?
A little bit. All right. You do it enough.
You're very gentle. You're very delicate.
I should probably do it
on your face?
Yeah, I have problems with dry skin and stuff.
Oh, so, well, maybe. Yeah. Well, cleansers are really great. If you get a nice organic facial cleanser, those are really good because they moisturize and they actually give a nice abrasion and remove the dead skin. So those are good. But I also went to an acupuncturist, and I went to the acupuncturist and I said, I love acupuncture, but how does acupuncture actually remove toxins from the body? And I discovered they have whole protocols for ways that you can actually move toxins out of the body through either needles or seeds. And these are actually mustard seeds that you can see on my ear. I don't know if you guys can all see them, but they're mustard seeds underneath like a little band, almost like a band-aid.
And what does this do, putting the mustard seeds
Well, the
on?
idea is in alternative or acupuncture is that the ear is representative of the entire body. So if you had, in acupuncture, they have energy meridians going down the body, and they put a needle in that energy point. Well, that point is also found in the ear. So instead of putting a needle, if there's anybody afraid of needles or doesn't like the needle, I love them, and I hate like shots and injections and stuff like that, but acupuncture needles are amazing. But if anybody doesn't want to do
They really don't hurt.
They really don't hurt. It's a little seed, it's a mustard seed, and the mustard seed is round with no sharp ends, so it doesn't actually puncture the skin. And you would actually put these in for 2 to 3 days, and you'd put them on that point, and then you'd press them as a way to put the pressure. So it could be considered
conversation
acupressure.
starter.
It is. It's actually fun because people get a little like, what do you? But it is very fun.
Communicating with them.
Right, right. Sort of Star Trek. So you could actually use these as a way to help the body detox by putting on pressure on those points. They actually do things like support the liver or support the kidneys or do stuff like that. It stimulates that energy part of the body.
So between the brush and the mustard seeds, then I'd be...
Those are 2 options. They're
I'd be
2
good to
easy
go.
options. Absolutely. And yeah,
a
like
little bit of garlic. And then...
well, garlic is actually one of those foods that I wanted to bring up that is very good for helping to detoxify the body. There's a lot of natural things you can do and eat as a way to create a good alkaline level or a good neutral, healthy level in the body.
So garlic is one?
Garlic is absolutely one of them. Garlic is very good. It's very good for supporting the body. Cayenne pepper, I know people that do cayenne pepper when they're sick, and cayenne pepper actually has its own natural ability to fight off infections. So there's lots of food. Milk thistle is really good for supporting
What is milk
the body. Milk thistle is it's a plant. It's
Oh, okay. I thought you said milk.
Milk thistle. It's
actually...
actually...
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So there's like dandelion, milk thistle, those types of things.
Good for you?
Dandelion's very good for you. So there's foods. You want to look at your foods and the choices that you're making for those foods. We hear a lot now about blueberries or pomegranates, that kind of thing. I think there's even a couple products that are advertising these new drinks that have those types of things in them. So paying attention to those things is very important.
Are you saying those are good or bad?
Those are good. Those are very good, yeah. A friend of mine says, if it doesn't mold, don't eat it.
If it doesn't mold,
if it doesn't mold,
don't eat what it is.
So Twinkies,
molding though, right?
Well, don't eat it when it's molding, right?
That's my rule.
Right. So stay away from things like Twinkies and stuff like that. But there's a lot of other practices you can go into as well. Like Ayurvedic medicine has therapies. Ayurvedic is traditional Indian medicine, sort of like acupuncture is traditional Chinese medicine. Ayurvedic is several thousand years old, and it's a way to actually help the body cleanse and detox. And there's therapies, there's massages that affect the lymph system and help the lymph system flush out things.
Well, I'm sorry, we're almost out of time, but in our final moment, I just wanted to ask, I understand you're not big on the master cleanse?
No, I'm not big on the master cleanse. I think fasting is important, and it's good to cleanse the body. But with the master's cleanse, you're not... And it's tricky, but you're not getting the vitamins and the nutrients that your body needs to continue supporting the process of a strong immune system and a strong, healthy system. And you're putting a lot of sugar in the body. So if it was a cleanse, I would really look at doing a raw vegan diet or a juicing cleanse or something of that sort. Isagenic's a really great product that helps support the health of the body.
Well, thank you very much,
Absolutely.
Peter Bedard, alternative health expert. Grab your brush, everybody. We'll be right back. I'm going to brush during the break.
It feels really good.
And we are back. Joining me now is Sam Jones III. He's moved on from Smallville and ER. You can see him now coming up on Safe Harbor on the Hallmark Channel. Great to have you here today.
How you doing? Pleasure to be here.
So actually, I appreciate you being here because you just came from an audition.
That's right.
So I hate to put you on the spot, but how'd it go? What were you
It went wonderful. I went to see my acting coach, Anthony DiPietro, this morning, and went to the audition, and I knocked it out. So we'll see.
And can you tell us anything at all about what kind of character was it, at least?
It was, I don't want to talk about the audition.
Okay.
I mess around and don't get the audition. Forget that audition.
But I appreciate you being here.
Oh, thanks, man.
So Safe Harbor, though, coming up. What's that about?
Yeah, Safe Harbor is a true life story about this family that they give kids a chance. Instead of sending them to like juvenile facilities, they get to come to their house and live there and learn the ways of the harbor. And it stars myself and Treat Williams. So. That was a lot of fun. I got seasickness on the boats, but I got over it.
So you don't have your sea legs on yet, huh?
Oh, no. Oh, man, it was cold. They had wind machines, and we're in the water. That's no place for me, but it's going to be a good film. It comes out Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah. But you grew up in Massachusetts,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I grew up in Roxbury, and I could kind of relate to the character because I never really told this story until I'm going to tell it to you right now.
We got an exclusive right here.
Exclusive, right now on your show. Growing up, I used to get in some trouble, and I caught a case, which means like I committed a crime and I had to go to court, and I beat the case. And the day after that, I came to California. One of my friends was an actor.
No, wait, I was going to say that. Shouldn't you say like you won the case? Because if you beat the case, doesn't it sound like you? No.
Yeah,
you beat the case.
I
Good
beat
for
it.
you.
Yeah. And the day after, I moved to California, and I actually came on school vacation just to visit a friend, and he was acting, and I ended up staying. And then 6 months later, I got a guest star in NYPD Blue. Go figure.
Great.
And then I kind of learned how to act by being on that set, and the rest is history.
So you turned it around, and so I guess you can definitely relate to that story, that and that character.
Yeah,
right?
definitely can relate to that character.
But not the water.
No, not the water. There's no place for a black man.
So is Roxbury inland though? Because I was like Massachusetts shouldn't it be like on the coast.
Yeah, Roxbury's in the hood in Boston.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're not out fishing or anything.
Nah, no fishing.
And you got another project coming up for Spike.
Yeah, I have a show coming out. It's called Blue Mountain State. It's a football comedy, produced by one of the same producers of Smallville, Brian Robbins. Lionsgate's behind it, and it's just an outrageous comedy. It's my first comedy. Actually, it stars myself and Darren Brooks, who's currently playing on Days of Our Lives, and it's about these 3 freshmen that go to this big football university, and it's nothing but partying, hazing, girls. So this is my type of show. So
you could relate to that.
Yeah,
one for
very
sure,
little acting needed on this one, but the fellas are gonna love it. It's a show that all high school guys are gonna love.
Isn't that
yeah, that's the best part.
So you learned it's better in real life when you do it on TV than on the streets because they pay you for
Exactly.
it. And you don't get in trouble.
You don't get in trouble. You just get to, it's going to be funny. It's going to be a crazy show.
And there's something else, Cruise.
Yeah, Cruise. There I go again, getting in trouble. I don't know why I seem to get all the movies that I get in trouble. Exactly. It's about a kid who he lives in the inner city, and he's basically in the wrong place at the wrong time. And these guys, they asked him to steal someone's wallet because there's a code in the wallet that they need. And he brings along his little gangbang buddy, and they go too far. They end up carjacking the guys, and there's a murder committed, and it just gets worse and worse and unravels itself. So it's kind of a thriller, action movie, starring myself, and Brian Garrity and Fawn Chambers is in it. So it's another good one.
But seriously, good for you, though, the way that you were able to turn those experiences of that part around and use it into something positive and, and make it literally into a career.
Yeah, because I think, I grew up in Roxbury, but I was in a program called the MECO program, and they not shipped. That sounds like some slavery. They shipped the slaves. They they bust the inner city kids from the city to the suburbs. So I was like, we were literally like, that bus was all the black kids from the city going to an all white suburban school. But it was a great experience because at a young age, we lived a different life than these kids, and it was a really good experience. So I went there for high school, and it was really good for me because it made me more well-rounded and made me the person that I am today. And I'm just a real-life example that, it doesn't matter where you're from, you can make it if you just stick to your goals. Because when I was young, my mom used to ask me what I want to do, and I either want to be in the NBA, a magician, or an actor. So I got one of the 3.
You got one of them.
Yeah, and I did a basketball movie, and I can still do magic, so,
You do any tricks right now?
Nah, not right now.
Make the couch
Not right
disappear.
now.
Yeah. But when you mentioned Smallville earlier, though, you were, Superman's
Yeah, I was
friend?
Superman's best friend on Smallville. I played Pete Ross, and that was another blessing because, originally the character on Smallville, Pete Ross, in the comic book, is a white character. But then my agent was like, you got to go in for this part. And I'm like, we got a major problem here, man. And but I went in, and I did a good job. And, Warner Brothers, they basically did no color lines, and they cast me for the part. And it was great. We did the pilot, and we didn't know if it was going to get picked up. And I remember the first time we all saw the pilot, it blew us away. And that was like 3 of the best years of my life. And, it taught me a lot about acting and about responsibility. And, like I said, I really had no guidance in my career. I just went on auditions and booked jobs. And
well, hey, it worked.
But now I kind of look at myself as an experienced actor now, that if there was a kid who had a television show, I could tell him what he should do. He should do publicity. He should get a publicist. He should, everything that I could tell that kid, I'm telling myself now because I got a new show. So I'm going to do it right this time. Not that I did anything wrong, but I just feel like there's a lot more that I'm going to accomplish this time around from this television
I think
show.
You've probably got a few years ahead of you.
Oh yeah, and I'm writing and producing now too, so I'm all over the map.
Will Smith's company?
Yeah, Overbrook. I got a show, a movie actually, about the California Youth Authority. I don't know why this juvenile stuff just keeps popping
Well, I'll
up.
tell you, as long as it's material, hey, you know,
Yeah.
you're working it, you're turning it
Yeah,
into.
but I wrote that, and they optioned it, so we'll see what's up with that. And
Would you like to do a movie with Will Smith?
would I like to do a movie with Will Smith?
What do you think he's going to say?
Yeah, I mean, I think Will Smith's definitely like, he's the top in Hollywood right now. I think everybody in Hollywood is trying to strive for what he has, and he's a great role model, and he's a great example of, you know, a true professional. So I would definitely love to do a movie with Will Smith one day.
But you are interested in branching out to the producing and the writing
Oh
side?
yeah,
of it?
producing, and just all different sorts of, you know, businesses. I got a website. It's called myshowbizsite.com that we're starting. It's kind of like YouTube meets MySpace, but it's for actors.
Oh.
So we started that about like 6 months ago. So I just really want to be a big entrepreneur, and you know, acting was originally my passion, but writing and producing and branching out to different businesses is really where my heart's at now. So. Yeah.
And you even had your spot on ER too.
Oh yeah, ER was great. I got to, you know, play Mekhi Phifer's younger brother, Danny Gulliver's son, and work with people like Angela Bassett. So ER was another great thing. But hopefully next time I come back here, I'll be, you know, the writer, the producer, the mogul.
All right, well, come back and tell us all about it. And
All right.
by the way, we have Smallville fans around here today.
Oh,
We're
you
excited
do?
You were here, so pleasure to have you here today.
All right,
Sam.
cool. All right.
And we'll look forward to Safe Harbor coming up on Hallmark Channel.
And Blue Mountain State.
Blue Mountain
Yeah,
State.
the Smallville fans are gonna be in for a treat because it kind of has the same feel because the colors are still, you know, high definition like Smallville was, but it's gonna be a comedy. It's gonna be football. It's gonna be crazy, and I'm about to get in the gym. So, you know, ladies, look for me this year.
Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next time.
Peace.